fans are making a lot of noise at AT&T Stadium.
Anything that moves between these lines, gotta get dealt with.
They hand it to Pollard. He comes running out the right side. Deep to the post to Lamb. At the 5 to the goal line.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
Overreaction Monday in the NFL includes 16 organizations that have jubilation with a Week 1 win. Dallas Cowboys Nation will not be one of those fan bases as they fall for the second straight year to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 19-13. The final score from AT&T Stadium as we welcome you in to Cowboys Game Night. Alongside Nate Newton, the 6-time Pro Bowler and 3-time Super Bowl champ, I'm Kyle Youmans as we break down what exactly happened for the Dallas Cowboys, and we have live reaction from out at AT&T Stadium. And they call it Black Monday in the NFL, Nate, and it might be a little bit darker for Cowboys Nation because the offense never got off the ground. Dak Prescott injured. We'll have more on that in a little bit. And then the defense played well, but it was really overshadowed by the negative.
Yeah, you're right, Kyle. This offense never found its rhythm. It like they never went to training camp. I mean, the wide receivers were off kilter a lot. You know, we thought we would see a lot of CeeDee Lamb. I mean, we saw Dak trying to force things in the bad coverages, and they never got going. Houston didn't look too well. And they didn't find our boy Schultz till late in the game, so that's his blanket. And we thought we would find him more often in our run game. Wow. It was non-existent in the second half.
Yeah, last year it really felt like the run game never got going. Well, it was a replica of that this year because Ezekiel Elliott, 10 carries, 52 yards. Felt like it was going early, but then they went away from that, and Dak Prescott threw the ball 29 times, only had 14 completions. Less than 50% of his passes were complete to targets. He finished with 134 yards and an interception. But let's see how this thing unraveled from the get-go. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into AT&T Stadium to face Dak Prescott. Tom Brady 6-0 all-time against the Cowboys. Both sides traded field goals in the first quarter, and in the second, the Cowboys trailed 6-3. On third down, Micah Parsons came over the middle and was able to sack Tom Brady to force another field goal try that was ultimately missed. But you look at the spin move.
Oh, yes, sir, man. Inside out with that speed and power. That guy hadn't gave up a sack. Smith hadn't gave up a sack all of last year. And here it is, the first game he gives up a sack to Parsons.
Yeah, that's one of the best left tackles in football,
yes.
And Micah Parsons made him look silly. Set up this attempt from just over 30 yards out, and it's missed off to the left to keep the game at 6-3. Now, Tampa Bay would have another field goal later in the quarter, but then Dak Prescott got the football back and sent it right back to Tampa Bay as he threw it into double coverage where Antoine Winfield Jr., the third-year player out of Minnesota, has the interception. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers trying to make him pay? No such thing. Guess who? Micah Parsons, the second time today that he has a sack, and he's off to a quick start in his sophomore season in the NFL. One more field goal for Tampa Bay, and they led at halftime 12-3 the score. But then in the third quarter, they finally found pay dirt. One-handed snags, Mike Evans against Trayvon Diggs to finally find the end zone.
Oh, man, a nice fade, nice throw, and better catch right there. He just couldn't get his head around. He was playing the receiver. He was doing the right thing, playing the receiver. But when you get that enough separation from Evans, he's a big enough player to make the play.
Really felt like Diggs actually had a nice day. Dak Prescott, not so much. Opening drive of the fourth quarter, he misses Dennis Houston on a slant for a turnover on downs. And then a little bit later, he completes this pass to Noah Brown. But this just adds insult to injury, including an injury. That hit right there from Shaq Barrett and the pressure up the middle, the contact made with his right hand. Jerry Jones telling reporters after the game that Dak Prescott in need of surgery. He'll miss sometime within 4 to 8 weeks.
That's a bad thing. I mean, as the game went on, they got more and more pressure as we became a one-dimensional team, and they just started cutting loose up the middle and forcing Dak back. And they hit his hand several times, but that is the one that got him.
Cooper Rush on 4th and 15. One final shot downfield to Simi Fehoko Fehoko can't make the grab, and that would do it. Tom Brady and Tampa Bay invade AT&T Stadium and really put it on the Dallas Cowboys, 19-13. The defense kept the Cowboys within striking distance for much of the football game, but the offense just could not pick it up, and Brady improves to 7-0 versus the Cowboys in his career. As we take a look at some of the final stats, just 244 total yardage for the offense, and you look at the time of possession, you look at penalties, all the way up and down. It doesn't look terrible. It just doesn't look good.
I need for that 32-42 time possession, we need to get that. We need to take about 3 minutes off of that, because you're expecting for our defense to be the catalyst of this team. They cannot play more than 30 minutes a game.
And I alluded to it just a moment ago. Jerry Jones talking to reporters after the game. When we come back here on Cowboys Game Night, we hear from Jerry himself in an update on Dak Prescott and his injury moving forward right after this, as the Cowboys lose 19-3 on opening week.
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. If you have a lucky quarter, it could pay off big when you play the new Cowboys scratch ticket game from the Texas Lottery.
19-3, the Dallas Cowboys fall to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the opening week of the NFL season. Jerry Jones knows that it's been a long offseason, some departures, some new faces, but ultimately it turns into a loss here in week one. Here's what the owner, president, and GM had to say following the final score.
Well, it was a tremendously disappointing way for us to start the year. Everybody is disappointed about that. I'm particularly disappointed for our fans. Dak will be out for a little while, and so we'll be dealing with that as well. So this was a really tough night for the Cowboys, but and a really a surprising night. But of course, really add to it right there at the end to lose him for several weeks. We'll see more about how many weeks that may be.
So several weeks. What exactly happened to his hand?
Yes, he has an injury above his joint in his thumb up here. That'll need surgery.
You mentioned optimism heading into this season. You said 1 + 1 = 3. Does
Yeah.
it still feel like
Yeah.
1 + 1 = 3?
Well, we got a minus going right now, don't we? Real big. So the pluses, but that's this game. This is, of course, just a start, but a hard way to start. A very disappointing start. There's nobody in that locker room that expects us or expected us to play like we played tonight. Certainly that will be addressed and worked on and be ready to go, and then we'll have to address the fact that we'll be going forward here without Dak.
Is Dak need surgery on his thumb, or?
Well, it's above the thumb. It's up in the back behind the joint.
Jerry, how much is it on the coaching staff to make sure this thing doesn't go off the rails when you lose your
What? Well, again, it's pretty logical for me to see that we've got a lot of areas to work on, a lot of areas to improve on. It's the first game. Real disappointed before Dak's injury, certainly disappointed after it's
What are your thoughts on the receiving core? Were you surprised?
So there's Jerry Jones, as he has some audible disappointment. I mean, he said it multiple times. That's kind of the buzzword around Cowboys Nation at the moment. And the disappointment stems from the offense. You did lose Connor McGovern earlier in the first quarter. Then you had, of course, the injury to Tyron Smith even prior to the start of game week. But where does the most disappointment come from for you in the terms of the 19-3 loss?
Just the inconsistency from our quarterback and our wide receivers. Like I said, the offensive line started out okay. They was holding up pretty good. Was having some type of run game going there with Zeke. He had like 6 carries for 30 yards, and I think Tony Pollard had a couple of carries. And things were going right. And all of a sudden, they clamped down on us. Our defense made a play, then their defense made a play, but they continued to make plays. We never found a rhythm. It's like we never went to training camp. I mean, that's just how bad we looked. And all of a sudden, they started leaking in on Dak, and they started taking advantage of our right tackle still. I mean, like I said before, he had 3 offsides and 1 holding it, and it really showed up big during the game.
How much does it fall on the wide receivers? Because CeeDee Lamb specifically, 11 targets. He only had 2 receptions for 29 yards. So young receiving core didn't have a whole lot of separation. How much does the blame fall on them?
A lot. I mean, You think you get enough reps. You think things are going to be live. You think you're going to make some things happen. But when it comes to real live bullets and guys coming up on you and pressing you and making you do things that you're not comfortable with. Last year, you were the number 2 guy. You played in the slot. You can maneuver how you want. Now they look at you. Now they come up on you. Now they press you. They make you be a better player. And it's just going to take time with CeeDee Lamb. It's going to take time with Houston. Now you have to be doing it with Cooper Rush instead of Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Keep that in mind because Cooper Rush, 7 of 13 late. He threw the ball quite a bit because it was late in the game and you were trying to work the ball down the field. But when we come back, we do hear from QB1 Dak Prescott on the injury and much more of how the 19-3 loss unraveled.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. If you have a lucky quarter, it could pay off big when you play the new Cowboys scratch ticket game from the Texas Lottery.
For just the 4th time in his Cowboys career, Dak Prescott completes less than 50% of his passes in a single game. It's the the second time that it's happened since his rookie season. Here's what QB1 had to say about that and his injury moving forward.
Did you know right away, Dak, that this was something significant to your hand?
The play that happened, no, not necessarily. In the game, just in the midst of it. Thought I jammed it. I mean, I've hit my hand on helmets or bodies a lot in my career and never really had anything, maybe a jammed finger here, and I actually thought that's what it was. Just the next play, realized I couldn't grip the ball, let the sideline know. And then when I got off, I told the trainers the same thing. I was just like, I can't grip. I feel like if you yank it, I'll be okay. And no, we came in, got x-rays, and things are different.
What have they told you to expect in terms of how long?
I just got to go see the doctor tomorrow. Plans to see him surgery tomorrow and let me know once they get in there, they see everything. I was told it was much cleaner than it could have been.
Dak, how disappointing is this and how would you characterize your emotions right now?
Yeah, it's very disappointing. But injuries happen. Can't necessarily control it. Just unfortunate. Obviously going to miss some time, not be there for my team. And that's what hurts more than anything, especially after the start that we just put out there. Wanting to be able to respond and not necessarily having that opportunity for several weeks. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I'll do what I've always done. Anytime adversity comes, take it on head first, and it'll give my best, and I'm sure I'll come out of this thing better.
A lot of health issues of late, came back to fractured ankles. It's like, can I get a break here with your body?
Yeah, I mean, you ask that quickly, and then, you got to move on. As I said, things happen that I can't control, and who am I to question it? It just gives me an opportunity to respond, to move forward, control the things that I can, and that's what I'll do, as I've always done.
This isn't the first time that he's had to deal with an obstacle and have to have some adversity going into even the early parts of the season. How do you expect, not only from the game tonight, but from the injury, Dak Prescott responds?
Oh, he's going to come back. And like you say, he's going to be better than ever. He's going to be sharp. He's going to look at the game mentally. He's going to be there for his teammates. He's going to help Cooper Rush in every way that he can. But right about now, we better get to concentrating on what this team has a lot more problems than just Dak. We got wide receivers that need to get better separation. We need for them to be able to help Cooper Rush. We need to incorporate our run game a little bit more. Yes, this is a bad thing that Dak is out, but this thing is a little bit bigger right now because you still have, 16 more games left?
Yeah, you got a long way to go. It's a long NFL season, and we may see the defense really take over as the strength of this team. When we come back, we hear from DeMarcus Lawrence on his performance and the defense's performance in the 19-3 loss. Welcome back into Cowboys game night here from the Star in Frisco. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers steal week 1 from the Cowboys 19-3. Kyle Youmans back with you. Let's go hear from DeMarcus Lawrence as that defense actually played pretty well against Tom Brady and the Bucs. A couple sacks for Micah Parsons, an interception for Donovan Wilson. Even DeMarcus Lawrence got into the mix. Here's what he had to say.
How do I keep everybody together after a tough loss? I mean, I feel like all the boys, in the locker room, is still focused on getting better. You know what I mean? So, I don't really think it's going to be any hardship on my part to, keep people focused on. We have a long season to go. This is just week 1. We got to go back to the drawing board and, look at what we did good and bad and learn from it.
Because Cooper has won a game for you guys last year in Minnesota. That gives you guys a lot of confidence that, hey, we know he can win a game for us.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. We know Cooper Rush can win a game for us, and we're counting on him, to come back here and get better this week and win a game for us next week.
Even though it's one weekend, do you rally the troops because you say we can't let this get away from us because we got the Bengals, then you got a division game on the road?
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing to panic about. I feel like, we played pretty well on defense. Some things we have to clean up on the jet sweeps, the quick streams, and just running to the ball. So I feel like, overall on defense we did pretty well. We still got to give offense the ball to, have more opportunities to score. So, it's all about just going in, cleaning it up, learning from it, and we'll be better next week.
You go from Tom Brady, who's considered a GOAT, to Joey Burrow, who is a young, rising quarterback. How do you get ready for that challenge, especially in week 2?
Yeah, more pressure. We rely on our coaches. We believe in our coaches. To set us up with the best game plan to go out there and attack. So, we'll be ready.
Marcus, I know on the field y'all will be doing as many times all you can to help this team win, but personally, how disappointed are you for Dak and what he needs to do?
Yeah, very. You don't never want to see Ford go out with any injury. We support him all the way. Pray for his health, and can't wait till you get back.
Couple of the defensive stats here for the Cowboys. Couple sacks, had the interception, 6 tackles for loss, and ultimately they flew to the football. Chris Collinsworth even said that on the broadcast. But Nate, when you look at this defense, there's really only one option. They've got to get better. Even though they played well tonight, where can they go from here?
They're the heart and soul of the team, Kyle, and they're going to have to do what they did tonight and repeat it week after week until this offense finds its identity. Are we a run team? Are we a play-action team? Are we just a drop-back passing team? We don't know because the offense was so uneven. But I tell you what, with D-Law, Parsons, Diggs, they got a base, and they can go nowhere but up with the coach, Dan Quinn.
Yeah, and even D-Law saying there that Dan Quinn is putting them in the right spots to be successful, and it worked out tonight, at least for the defense, kept Tampa Bay out of the end zone until the final 4 minutes of the third quarter. When we come back, we wrap things up on Cowboys Game Night.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Reliant, an NRG company. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
Offensive stats from the 19-3 loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Cowboys officially 0-1 to start the 2022 campaign. And you can just see there, time of possession, won by Tampa Bay. Turnover battle, won by Tampa Bay. And then you got the third down conversions, 3 of 15. You got to be better on third down. Back here with Nate Newton from the Star in Frisco as we wrap up Cowboys Game Night here in Week 1. And Nate, where do you go from here? Cowboys Nation is looking on what they call Black Monday, and it's a little hopeless without your quarterback. Of course, Jalen Kearse leaving on crutches as well. It does not look good. Where's the hope for this team moving forward?
Just to go out and work. Go out and find out who you are. Coaches have to do a better job. Players have to concentrate a little bit harder. If the offense just can start running the ball a little bit more effective, and we get Cooper Rush just a little bit time to dissect what's going on, they should be all right. This is just one game. Got 17 more, and you can always get better. We have good players on offense. Now we have to just dedicate ourselves, our mind, and our bodies to making sure we do everything that the coaches ask during the week.
It is a long season and a long way to go. Like Nate said, 17 weeks remaining. Next week, they're right back at home, AT&T Stadium. That's a good thing, but you're facing the reigning AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals. We'll be here to break it all down for you from the Star. For Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Youmans. Thanks for joining us on Cowboys Game Night.